On this episode of Cycle Talk, we've got Kawasaki's new Z250 SL for Super Light, the new 300 Kawasaki Street Fighter, Yamaha's SR400 Custom, a Norton Rotary Classic, great products and tips. But let's kick it all off from Thailand with the new KTM Dukes.
2014 was KTM's most successful year ever, and 2015 is shaping up even bigger. We travelled a few hours north of Bangkok to sample what has become one of the most complete naked bike offerings, the 2015 KTM Duke family. Well, today we're here in Thailand, and the purpose is to look at KTM's range of naked road bikes. We've got the 390, we've got the 690R and the 1290 Super Duke. The 390, we all know about it, it's one of the most powerful learner legal bikes in Australia, very popular at the moment. We've got the 690R, single cylinder, stacks of torque, great bike, and of course what they nicknamed the Beast, the 1290 Super Duke. First of all, let's take a look at the list of updates for the 390 Duke in 2015. Most noticeably, the bike is now fitted with a slipper clutch as standard, which is a pretty cool kit for a Lamb's bike. Tyre-wise, they've changed to Pirelli Diablo Rosso 2s. More minor updates include a thicker padded seat by 10mm and improved LED turn signals. Out on the road, the 390's handling is razor sharp, and the single-cylinder engine just loves to be revved. Diego Arioli explains a little bit about KTM's choice of power plant for this bike.
Having a single-cylinder bike with 44 horsepower gives the advantage of having a powerful engine with a narrow shape of the front of the bike. Also, the single-cylinder engine is very refined, which is meaning very small fuel consumption. The 11 liter of the fuel tank can easily get a ride for more than 300 kilometers.
The 390 has the right ingredients to be your perfect first bike. They look great on the street, and they have the ideal power to weight ratio, so you can learn to ride with the maximum amount of fun. They're available now for $7,295 plus on roads. Now, this is the first time I've seen a safety brief that involved monkeys, elephants and cobras. Which leads me to the 690. Now, this is a street bike that has long been considered as having the most advanced big-bore single-cylinder engine on the market. Back in the day, large single-cylinder street bikes were common. Now KTM honed that niche with this 150 kilogram weapon. Now, I say weapon not because it blasts away in a straight line, but because it's so agile and good on the brakes. It's a unique bike that requires a smooth riding style. For 2015, KTM are only selling the R model in Australia, which basically means you get all the good gear, like an Akrapovic exhaust, fully adjustable suspension, steel crash bars, and orange billet aluminium triple clamps. Tyres on this year's bike are Metzeler M7 RRs. With 70 horsepower and 70 Nm of torque on tap, it's an ideal bike to take into the hills or the racetrack as often as possible. The R model not only looks trick, it sounds awesome and stops hard with a 320mm disc and Brembo monoblock up front. These kind of components really speak for themselves, and you can feel the quality. Like most KTMs, this is a bike you buy to stand out from the crowd. The 2015 690 Duke R retails for $14,495 plus on roads and is available in store now. And now introducing the Beast. The 1290 Super Duke R is powered by a twin-cylinder engine that produces 180 horsepower and a whopping 144 Nm of torque. The Bosch electronics are cutting edge with Bosch 9M Plus twin-channel ABS and traction control. The throttle is ride-by-wire, and the multi-function dash lets you switch between riding modes of sport, street and rain. You can turn traction control on or off. Ex-MotoGP rider and now KTM development rider Jeremy McWilliams was involved from the project almost from the start.
I reckon I was probably involved for about a year and a half overall, time-wise, and in the next sort of 6 months we started looking at traction control and ABS with Bosch.
The Super Duke is a striking machine that seems to have captured all the best styling cues of the last couple of years, while still looking distinctively orange. Like the 690R, The ABS has a supermoto setting for rear wheel fun, or it can be turned off completely. And not only does the Super Duke look the part, it also sounds incredible. I love listening to any large twin, but the low droning exhaust note sounds refined and purposeful at full noise, a sound of beauty. It was a pity the track session was cut short due to a late afternoon Thailand storm, but look out for a full test in an upcoming episode of Cycle Talk TV. The 2015 1290 Super Duke R is available now for $24,995 plus on roads.
With cast mag wheels, clip-on bars and a Kickstarter is the only way to fire it up, you could be mistaken for thinking that this bike is right out of the 70s. And in a way you're right. But you wouldn't be mistaken in thinking that this bike is actually the new Yamaha SR400.
This is what the standard SR400 looks like. It's a classic design and a timeless style. A beautiful machine in its own right. However, it doesn't actually have to be this way. There's lots of bike builders that are making lots of different parts and coming up with so many different ideas to produce something that's different. You can take an SR400 that looks like this and turn it into something that looks like this very easily. So let's take a look at the bike. It has a single cylinder 399cc engine which is air and oil cooled. It weighs about 174 kilos wet with a 298mm single hydraulic disc on the front and a drum brake on the rear. There's 18-inch wheels at each end and it's kickstart only. The kickstart has a decompression lever which manually opens the exhaust valve, and a mark on the rocker cover of the engine lets you know when the piston is in the right spot to start. This custom Yamaha SR400 has been built by Yamaha in Sydney. It features plenty of custom parts. There's the clip-on bars, the gum grips, LED indicators, cafe-styled seat, short shocks on the rear, cast mag wheels. All up, there's about $5,000 worth of parts put onto this bike, but that's just an example of what you can do with a bike like this. The best part is all of the parts are bolted on, which means you don't have to make any modifications or grind any bits off. So what's this bike like to ride? Well, it's really easy. The single cylinder has a long stroke, which means that it'll thump away easy at low revs. It takes a bit of effort to stall, and it's easy to start if you know how to do it. The clip-on bars make steering feel a little bit heavy, and depending on where you sit on the solo seat, your knees can sometimes get in the way of the bars turning at low speeds. It stops pretty well for a single disc. I've got an old single from the late 70s in the garage which doesn't have the best brakes after 35 years, and this gave me confidence on the SR400. Like I said earlier, it revs fairly low, but it does love a good squirt, and it really comes into its own when you give it some. Going into corners a gear lower than normal will bring out a big smile, and it's just as easy to get around if you want to cruise up a gear. I've had an absolute blast on the Yamaha SR400. It really is so easy to ride. Learners are going to absolutely love it. It turns so many heads. Hipsters love it. Even the old guys love it. It was a modern classic in 1978, and I think for under 10 grand, it'll be a modern classic today.
You can win an awesome Contour Roam 3 action camera with Cycle Talk and Contour. Just go to cycletalk.com.au/Contour to enter and sign up for the Cycle Talk email newsletter while you're there. The Contour cameras will be won every week, and we'll announce the winner on next week's show.
Stop dreaming and start riding. Your motorcycle adventures start at Pro Cycles. Graduate to a BMW for pure riding pleasure. Ride a Triumph with classic heritage styling. Add some KTM excitement on the road or dirt. Compare Suzuki's huge range in-store. And when it comes to Pro Cycles service centres, they've been doing it right for 40 years. First time or next time, make it happen at Pro Cycles. Hornsby on Sydney's north side and St Peters in the south.
Don't just watch Cycle Talk, read the magazine. Available for free, it features great road tests, plenty of news, products, features and racing coverage. The March 2015 edition is out now with the Harley-Davidson Street 500 on the cover. There's also features on the rotary powered motorcycles that were featured on this television program, and the Ducati 1200S and the Yamaha SR400 Custom. It's free at better bike shops, and you can also download it for your iPad, your iPhone in PDF, and it's available online and of course in print. There's posters of Toby Price and the new R1, great editorial, and lots of bike stuff, our product section. Check it out at www.cycletalk.com.au. Riding motorcycles is all about confidence. If you're confident in what you're doing, you can just about beat the world. Jack Miller, watch out. But when you're a learner, even a small bruise to that confidence caused by something as minor as a bike falling over, manoeuvring at low speed, well, that can really set you back a bit. So it's a great idea to have a look for a lightweight motorcycle to start riding on. And with that in mind, Kawasaki's introducing this new machine, the Z250 SL. SL for Super Light. We're going to take a look at that today, and as part of Kawasaki's big range of learner approved motorcycles, there's also the Z300 ABS, a new street fighter machine with a bit more performance. So the new Z250 SL, at just 150 kilograms, it certainly is super light. It's powered by a single cylinder, 4-stroke, 250cc engine, fuel injection, and you don't miss out on the mod cons. It's still got ABS brakes and is very, very easy to throw around. Seat height's very low, not cruiser bike low, but it's a very sexy, tapered design so that around the seat here, you can get your feet on the ground really easily. Gives you a lot of confidence when you can get your feet on the ground. Very economic bike to run. The 11-litre fuel tank and very frugal on the fuel consumption. This bike will go a week or so between fuel stops for most people. Now, just because it's economic doesn't mean it's missed out on all the mod cons. There's still ABS brakes, there's lightweight alloy wheels, and good quality components all the way through the new Z250 SL. Putting out nearly 30 horsepower means it's got a little bit more performance than I really expected, but don't get under the impression that it's a real high performance bike, because it's simply not. There's plenty of power to get away from the traffic, and it's ideal for someone who's just looking for something to get them around and get them those skills and that confidence. Z250 SL, only available in this burnt orange colour scheme. We really liked it. It's bright, it's not too loud. So where your Z250 SL is a nice lightweight commuter/learner bike, this is the new street fighter, the Z300. Using a 296cc 4-stroke twin-cylinder motor, this puts out about 11 horsepower more than the Z250 SL, and it's only 18 kilos heavier, so you really do notice the extra performance. Physically, a bigger machine, and that's who it's aimed at. Someone who wants a bigger bike than the 250, but still wants something that's a good commuter, good on the open road, and absolutely awesome for blasting through the traffic. The headlight of the Z300 is from the Z800. It's housed in this little nacelle with the fancy instruments, and it looks really, really neat. Down the back of the bike, we've got a sparse tail section to keep it looking clean and neat. We've got the shorty muffler, big rear tyre. Styling-wise, Kawasaki's done a great job with the Z300. The 296cc 4-stroke twin-cylinder liquid-cooled engine's pretty high-tech. Fuel injection, slipper clutch. There's a few mod cons in there that you wouldn't normally expect to see in a LAMD-approved bike. And that's one of the reasons this bike actually gives you the performance that will eclipse some of the 500 and 600cc LAMD's bikes in the right conditions. The upright riding position is something you might not expect, actually combined to make this bike a really nice commuter. The slipper clutch, it gives you a really light feel on the clutch when you're trying to use it, but also if you do go into a corner and bang down a few extra gears too many, it's not going to do anything crazy under braking. It's not going to lock up the rear wheel if you let the clutch out too soon. So it lets you concentrate on riding the bike rather than concentrate on making sure you get all the mechanicals perfect. You really can feel the extra 11 horsepower of the Z300 over the 250 SL. It does make it a much more performance-oriented machine, and for people who are looking for that, it's really, really great. Still fairly frugal, 17-litre tank means you get a decent range, and it makes a great commuter and a great fun weekend bike as well. There's two colour schemes for the Z300, a blaze green with spark black, and the one we tested, the metallic raw grey with flat spark black. The Kawasaki Z250 SL ABS, as we tested here, is going to be available soon at $55.99 plus on-road costs. The non-ABS version will be $52.99 plus on-road costs. The Z300 ABS is available now for $59.99. The new bikes carry a 2-year factory warranty, and you can get a lot more information from kawasaki.com.au.
Probably the coolest genuine Yamaha accessory for the new R1 is the Communication Control Unit, or CCU. Now it comes standard on the top of the line M model, but you can get it as an accessory for the standard R1, and it's $1,240 from Yamaha dealer. Now this is it here. It doesn't look much, but what it does, it allows the rider of the bike to access everything that's happening on the motorcycle. Gear position, throttle position, lean angle, traction, everything. And it does that, it accesses this via all the sensors on the motorcycle. Now, you can then get in, once you've accessed all that information, it will hold 300 hours of info. Now you can then get access to all this and plot, for example, if you're on the racetrack, you can go, righto, well I'm in this gear now, I'm at this throttle, I'm at that lean angle, and you can then evaluate yourself as a rider compared to the motorcycle and see where you need to improve. Now, where you need to improve could be adjusting the settings on the motorcycle, whether it be the traction control or so on. And you can even access that via a tablet or your phone. Now, it's apps for Android and iOS. And so you can sit in the pits if you like, or on your lounge chair at home. Now you can go, righto, I need to add this much more traction control. I need to get on the throttle a bit more here. I need to adjust this. And you can do that and then sync it to the bike, come out, turn the ignition on, and it's ready to go.
This week's winner of the Contour Roam 3 is John Sinclair from Western Australia. Go to cycletalk.com.au/contour for your chance to win a Roam 3 valued at $299.95.
Previously on Cycle Talk, we checked out the Hercules W2000 rotary powered motorcycle. Now we're going to move on to the Norton Classic. Now, the reason we've gone to this one is that the Hercules engine formed the basis of this machine via a convoluted way. But in 1987, 1988, this bike was one of 100 built, so it's a very limited edition. Prior to that, Joe Public couldn't buy a rotary powered Norton. They were the Interpol 2 for military and police use only. Now, this engine's air-cooled. It's got a twin rotor design, twin SU carburetors, and getting a lot of the cool air, which is important to that air-fuel mixture, is via a semi-monocoque style chassis and air ducts to get all that cool air in. And as a result, it made around about the 70 horsepower mark when the bikes were new. Some people sort of quoted higher figures, but that was the realistic figure. And when you look at the styling, it is very much a child of the 80s. In fact, it probably looks a little bit older than that. It's got a lot of European components on it. Brembo brakes, Grymica wheels, Koni shocks, and of course the engine and so on's European, but it also uses some Japanese components as well, like all the Yamaha switchgear. Now, when you look at the power of this sort of bike of the day, also got to think about how much further it was developed, because Norton had its NRS 588 rotary powered race bikes with riders the calibre of Steve Spray, Trevor Nation, dominating short circuit racing in the late 80s, early 90s, and also riders like Steve Hislop, Robert Dunlop on the roads. And Steve Hislop actually won the 1992 Senior TT on a rotary powered race bike. Now, when this bike was built in the late 80s, Norton was in its death throes. And we've had to wait really for another 25 years for Norton to be reborn with their new motorcycles. But back when this was built, the rotary, it's a shame that people just weren't ready for it. It's a great motorcycle to ride. It's got some great European components. It's a beautiful engine, very smooth, good turn of power, good turn of speed. And it's a shame they only built 100 of them.
Many people don't realise it, but their bikes have hooks to take straps so that you can put stuff on the luggage on the back seat of your bike. Now, a lot of Kawasaki's come with it, and this Z250 SL is no exception. So down the bottom here, near the foot peg, there's a bracket here, which partly there to stop the person's foot going too far close to the wheel, but it's also got a slot in it so that you can put a strap in it and strap something onto the back of the seat. Now, on this particular bike, there's a couple of little hooks built in to the number plate carrier as well, and that's what they go across to. Now, you can use the ubiquitous Oki strap. We really don't recommend them, but you can. They do spring back at people, hit people in the eyes. They're never the right length, but they are cheap, convenient, available everywhere. And they just hook in like so, and over to the other side, over the top of your luggage, and make sure you've got a reasonable amount of tension on it, but be careful. If they get away from the hooks, they will do some damage. So One of our good friends, Andy, from Andy Straps, he was an ambulance officer and he saw that happen to people. So he went out and developed his own straps. You might want to have a look out for Andy Straps. The other one that I've got here that I like at the moment is a rock strap. Now, this particular one is in two pieces. This piece has some elastic in it, and the idea with this is you pass it through the loop, back on itself, like so. The other end, you can just loop the loop end over the hook of the bike, just like so. Then you do it up, and then you pull it tight, and that stretches the elastic and holds your luggage down nice and tight. A little bit of extra cable, just put a knot in it, and you might, no matter what sort of strap you use, want to put a little bit of duct tape on any exposed plastic pieces just to prevent any rubbing, because as anything moves around, it can actually rub and cause a little bit of damage to your bodywork. That's about it. Two straps, one on either side, cross them over, check your luggage regularly, and you'll be able to carry a little bit of gear without it being in a backpack, and it's a lot more comfortable that way.